Okay, Racemic Epi. Well, we'll try that again. Racemic Epi. All right. This is a sympathetic agonist. So it's going to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. It is a relatively, per its action, it is a relatively non-selective beta agonist. Weird looking B agonist. Whereas the others were selective or more preferential to the beta 2 agonist, this one really doesn't care. This is going to go full beta agonist. It is going to work on all beta receptors. Okay? If that makes a little more sense. So its indications. We're going to give Racemic Epi for one thing. Croup. We give Racemic Epi for croup. Croup in pediatrics is a swelling of the upper airway, usually indicated by inspiratory stridor and by a seal bark or a seal-like barky cough. It also works well to take croupy kids and stick their heads in a freezer and then take them outside, or a hot steamy shower, stick them in a hot steamy shower or just in the room with a lot of steam, and then stick their head into a freezer, or if it's wintertime, which usually is for croup, outside in the cold will usually relieve symptoms, make things a little bit easier for you until you can get to the emergency room or to your pediatrician. Anyway, back to Racemic Epi. So sympathetic agonist, it's relatively non-selective B agonist or beta agonist. We give it for croup. It's pretty much the only thing we give it for. We give Racemic Epi for croup. Contraindications, we're not worried about just yet. Our dosing is 0.25 to 0.75 milliliters of a 2.5% solution. .25 to 0.75 milliliters, that's an L, of a 2.5% solution. For testing purposes, it does not get this specific. It's generally not going to ask you if it's a 2.5% solution because all Racemic Epi comes the same way. All is packaged in the same 2.5% solution. Okay? So its route obviously is inhalation. This is another nebulized medication. Okay, so we're a sympathetic agonist, relatively non-selective B agonist. So we can actually put this is also a weird looking B agonist as our class, if that helps your cards or study guides better. Okay? So we're giving it for croup at 0.25 to 0.75 milliliters of a 2.5 milliliter solution, or 2.5% solution, excuse me. Route is inhalation. Our contraindications Who can guess what our contraindication is for Racemic Epi? You're right. Hypersensitivity to the drug or allergy. It's epinephrine. It is a synthesized form or a manipulated form of epi, but it's still epi. It's still, I have not heard of any contraindications for racemic epi. So again, we're a beta agonist. We're a relatively non-selective beta agonist at that. So what are we going to see? You're right. Palpitations. Tremulousness. Anxiety. Headache. Dizziness. Tachycardia. With all of these for respiratory, should go without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. All of our beta agonists, all of our inhaled medications for opening of the airways, for making people breathe better, what should we be monitoring for? Of course, we're going to monitor heart rate because what is our thing? Tachycardia. We're going to monitor SpO2. And if at all possible, we're going to monitor end tidal. Because what do we know about SpO2? If for some reason that there's a carbon monoxide problem or a carbon dioxide problem, it doesn't matter. It's going to show 100% if there is that problem. So generally it's not. But still, we're going to monitor heart rate, SpO2 at a bare minimum.